Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for this conversation today. Y'all, I have an incredibly special guest who is with us here today who is going to tell us about some amazing things that she's working on, but also something really cool that's coming soon. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Natalie. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Natalie Beazer. Um, I am a disability specialist, but more specifically, I am a mother, an advocate. And so I have been developing a different way of housing, which is called Neuronest, because um, my family we have a multifamily house, and so we decided that struggling with disabilities as a single family has been a lot. So we combined households, and so we have a system that we are working on, and we're actually studying it and working to replicate it. So that's what Neuronest is about. It's using not just individuals, but it's multi generational families using their resources and their skills to make each part of the family better. So that's what Neuroness is about.
I love that. And let's talk a little bit more about your background. You said you're a disability specialist. How many years have you been in that industry? And of course, we know you have personal experience being a mom.
Yeah.
Tell us more
Yep.
about your experience and what led you to be like neuroness, obviously.
Yes. So I actually started out in deaf education. I was a teacher of the deaf for about 12 years. I'm actually from a small island in the Caribbean called Antigua. And so me and my family moved up here, it was really to focus more on deaf education. But then having two boys at the time with autism, um, and just the struggles of raising them and not knowing what to do and stuff, I always was passionate about working with people with disabilities, but this just confirmed it for me, I believe. And so my emphasis not only was on the deaf, but entire communities that struggle because they're different because of whatever health condition. And so before it was professional life, working with students and professionals, and then home life. And now it's it's combined now in the fact that I'm doing the same things that I used to do in the field at home. And so I'm teaching my sister, my niece, who also have children with disabilities, and other community members, some of these tools that I've learned and developed. And so that's what we have been doing.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And when we reconnected and started talking about the special project that I'll share more about later,
Yep.
I was so excited because, I have personal experience with this. My youngest brother, he has Down syndrome. And so living in the world and community of disabilities has been a big part of just my 29 years of
Right.
life. And
Hmm.
so there's definitely a need, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I'm excited about the fact that you have been so generous to not just pour into your family and your loved ones, but you're like, I need to take this broader. So tell me more
Yeah.
about the vision. Like, where do you see Neural Nest going?
Right. Right. So the vision really is to one of the things that we're doing is we are in what is called our temporary hub. And so in the temporary hub, we are identifying what are the things that we're doing. So for example, we just recently had COVID, but there was nothing in place to address what are the responsibilities. So we had to design something to say these are the steps. And not only that, but we have to make it visual because, of course, we have a number of people who are on the autism spectrum. And so a bunch of words not going to work. So we're just, based on the issues we have one that's nonverbal. And so just using, the strategies that we're teaching, what's working. And so, yeah, we're just documenting everything because we want to be able to not only um, create this model, but we want to replicate it. So we want to be
Mhm.
able to help other families, understand that they're not alone, and there are other families that struggle or have done this for a very long time and have some tools. And so we want to be able to provide those tools. And so, yeah, so that's what we're doing. The goal is to really to replicate getting some land, and we're going to build on the land. And we're also hoping that families who are not in Minnesota can also replicate this too. So it just needed to be something that's not a group home.
Mm.
Um, as I'm getting older and my husband's getting older, we wanted something more sustainable. And so this way, family members or your tribe or whoever, that they're safe,
Yeah.
and so you don't have to worry about, so that's the goal.
Wow. That is so special because one, we didn't have the community, you know,
I know.
growing
I
up.
know.
Um,
I know.
I didn't know other people like intimately who had another family member who had a disability. So it was very much a part of my life that I
Yeah.
didn't talk much about because I didn't feel like over explaining.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
And it's
Right.
like, and I don't want sympathy because I'm not sad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
nothing's wrong. And so,
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That
so
is my
I'm
that's
yeah.
yeah. That is my I think more of my they call it what my bench, so to speak, because there's this mindset that you say disability and all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm so sorry, and da 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 da. And that's my pet peeve, because so many people with disabilities are doing such amazing things. And so I want to highlight that.
Mm,
Yes, it gets tough with, behaviors and all of those things, but who says they got to fit in? You know, you got to figure out the thing that works. Like my sons, they love music and dancing and all those things. So that's what they did. I pushed those things. And so I met this student. His mom was so frustrated. She said, but he will take a plastic bag. He makes dinosaurs. He makes all these cool things out of plastic bags. So, yeah, it's really about identifying what are the strengths
mm.
to build on the things that need work. So that's kind of my goal.
I love the way that you put that because, now I've professionally entered the field. So I think we had a reverse life.
Yes, absolutely.
I grew up, in this community, and then being in my nuclear family, not having the
Mhm.
extended disability community, and then now
Yeah,
I'm professionally in this field, and
yeah,
it is. I think I have come to surmise it as like my goal in
mhm,
this field is to help you to live your best life
yeah,
because it doesn't have to look the way that we are traditionally told should look.
exactly.
It's really about what do you love and how can I help you do more of that? How can I
Do
teach your
exactly,
that thing?
absolutely.
Isn't that how we
Yeah,
all should live?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So
Oh,
yeah, that is really the goal. And so I want, just like, and I've seen it work. I'm seeing it work. I'm
yes.
seeing it work because, just this week I was telling my niece,
Mm,
before, all my nephew, the baby would do was scream because he didn't have words to articulate what was wrong. And
mm,
so now he's using voices. I mean, sometimes you don't understand what he's saying, but and what has really helped is we do a lot of music. And
mm.
so we sing the songs, and so he's singing the words. And so we use a lot of different strategies. We use music, we use animals, because I have a service dog. Every kind of therapy that there is, we
Yeah.
integrate it to see what works. And yeah, so we want to be able to do that, help other families do the same.
I love that. And the fact that this will grow in your vision into being like a community space
Yeah,
is
yeah,
helpful because families can skip the isolating, overwhelming trial
yeah,
and error phase and they can be early on exposed to the options.
absolutely,
I love that.
absolutely, yeah. And one of the challenges, I don't know where we got this from, but way back when, it was all about family and tribes and
Mm,
communities that lived together. And so it's not the woo crazy stuff. It's just understanding that family or even allies are really important. And so one of the things that because I love gardening, And so I'm teaching the little ones the importance of gardening and how that works and nature and those things, because those are things I love.
Yeah.
Now, my sister, she doesn't like bugs. And, so we're able to do different things and not just stick to one little area. And so this exposes them to a lot of variety. And I really believe that people with disabilities can do absolutely anything. You just have to make it accessible.
That
There,
part.
yeah, there is nothing that they cannot do. And so it's really about us wanting them to fit into our mold of how things should be done. And I disagree with that.
A word, a word, a word. Can you all see why she is the advocate in this space? And why it made absolute sense for Natalie to start a podcast. So
Yes.
tell us about what is in the works, what is coming soon,
Yeah.
and what the goal of this podcast is going to be for families as a resource.
Yep. Absolutely. So the podcast is called Neuronest Navigating Disabilities. And really, the goal is to support parents, number one, giving them tools.
Mm,
So, like my first session talks about, okay, you get your first diagnosis, now what?
mm,
And so really digging into steps and, what has worked, what data says, and I really believe in using research-based data and those kind of things to show what works. But not only that, I'm doing examples. And
mm,
so the podcast gives you step by step what to do, guidelines, and then once they connect with me, they can have actual visuals and step by step things. So, yeah, so that's the goal, to address the needs, and where parents are struggling, so yeah, that's what I'm working on.
I love this. And like, I really love how you are taking them through the journey, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because whether they are in the middle of things and
Right.
or they're at that transition point where everything they have to make all the
Yeah.
big decisions, like, oh,
Yeah,
they're gonna
exactly.
graduate. What are you gonna do with
Yeah.
those milestone moments? Being
Yeah.
able to go back is helpful because you can reflect, like
Absolutely.
on
Absolutely.
so many different experiences and what you learn from that, and also just giving you space to feel the feelings that you didn't have the time or
I
capacity to
know.
feel because
I
everything
know.
was thrown at you. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And that's one of the things I really emphasize, because there's burnout is a real thing for
Mm,
parents of children with disabilities. And I know this personally because as a result of all the stuff that I had to do, I left myself out.
yeah.
And now I am among the people with disabilities because I didn't feel like I had time to take care of myself. And so
Mm,
one of the things that I really emphasize is the importance of self-care
yes.
and how to avoid burnout. And the way to do that is with a tribe, with a community, with a group of people. And I'm very blessed that I have family members who are willing to do this. And I know a lot of people say, I don't know if I could live with my sister. I don't know if I could. But the thing is, it's not even about that. Because when you realize it's not really about us, it's about the kids. It's
Mhm.
about what they're going to do. With God just blessed us with them for us to put them in the right position.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's a calling, it's a mission to provide them with the tools and the parents with the tools,
Mm,
uh, based on experience and based on data and based on all of those things. And if there are no, sometimes people are isolated from their families, so we connect them with a tribe. So it don't have to be a family member. It could be an ally. It could, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, the importance is community and making your making sure that your children are doing the things that they love.
yes.
Um, I mean, there are strategies. One of the big strategies is schedule. People are just like, oh, I get up and I do this, and that's not how that works. So you have to have the same schedule every time, every day, and so that's what works,
Mm,
because
you
that will work.
mentioned a big buzzword,
I
community. And so
I
I know that you have a community that
I
people can
do.
join. Tell
I
them about
do.
that community.
So, are you talking about the Neuronest community?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have 13 in our family
Oh,
right now. 13. Started out with four. And then my sister moved here from New Jersey with her family.
mhm.
And then her son moved in with his family. So, yes, so there's 13 of us, nine adults, four kids, ranging from 8 to 3 months. So it's going really well. We have our moments,
Mhm.
but we celebrate a lot. Every birthday is a big event,
Yeah.
and we have hub meetings. We play games, work on strategies because I and we're homeschooling the kids, so we took them out of the traditional school system. Well, because number one, I have the degree, but but also I was not happy with the school system. My all three of my kids struggled in school,
Mhm.
because it was more about getting this work done more than mastery, and that is not my forte. So
Mhm.
we creating our own stuff. The little ones are using the Montessori method because it's hands-on. And so, yeah, we're still adapting. This has only been 3 months, but yeah, it's going well. It's
Yeah.
going well, and we all feel supported. If the conflict is one of the bigger things that we work on, how do we deal with conflict? How do we deal with meltdowns? We had issues with like transitions is my big thing. I am very much into that,
Yes.
and so just learning those skills and teaching is more about teaching those skills because what parents don't understand or people don't understand is that even though your kid is screaming or hitting or bumping he's communicating.
Mhm.
You just don't know what he's saying.
Yes.
So, utilizing communication devices and sign language, I do that, incorporate that. So yeah, they're tools. It's just that people don't know what they are.
I love that. I think that your this 90-day like study that you all are doing, living together, is proof of the value of community.
Absolutely.
And I believe that you have a Facebook community where people can actually join. Is
Oh,
that
absolutely. Yep, yep.
okay?
It's
Tell them
called
about
Wendy's.
that. How do they get
Yeah,
connected? Because many
yeah.
families are like, I love that for you, but like I don't have other people that like can relate.
Right,
Start
exactly.
this Facebook.
So, yeah, so I am on Facebook, on Instagram. It's Neuronest Collaborative is the name of the organization.
Yes.
It's new, as you said, but I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So, um, we also have a website. We're still in development of this structure, but right now our focus is the hub and getting information out, connecting with other families, providing resources. Eventually, there'll be trainings and stuff, and just a community group. But right now, it's just getting our voices out there.
I love that. Um, so feel free for you all to go and connect in that space because when the podcast drops, you all will be the first to be a part of the
Yeah,
community. Um,
yes, absolutely.
any last words in terms of like ways that you can support families, what they should do to reach out to you?
Yeah, so I can be reached at my email, nbeazer@gmail.com. Um, One thing that I try to stress with parents is that your child is not broken
Yeah.
and you're not broken. It's just a matter of they do things differently, and we just got to embrace that. So, yeah, there's so much benefit to thinking differently and doing things differently. People that are doing things differently are the world changers. And so I believe that God has put these children in our way, in our path for us to shape and groom for
Mhm.
change. So.
Wow, that was beautifully said. Can y'all see how good her podcast is going to be because she's a wordsmith. Um, So thank you all for joining and tuning in. I'm looking forward to you all being able to check out her podcast when it drops. And of course, in the meantime, join the community, get connected, meet other families. Um,
Yeah,
I am
absolutely.
very honored to be in this space helping women to raise their voices in a way where they can attract the community that needs them the most. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
answering the call to start a podcast.
Yes, it really was a call. Yes, yes. So
All
thank you
right.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Until next time, you all.